Hi, this is Kate with bLoyal, and I'm here today to give you an overview of our Insight module as well as go over some of the reporting tools that we have available in Director. So as you can see, I am in the Insight module and in the Customers tab. Each of the reports that I'm looking at right now in this Customers tab has to do with customer specific data. So you can see each one has a title as well as a description below, letting you know a little bit more what kind of information you'll get from that report. If you can't find a report that you're looking for, it may just be that it's in another tab, but you can always reach out to support so that we can put you in the right direction and make sure you're getting the report that you need. For this specific example, we will use the customer summary report just so that we can kind of go over how all of this works. So you'll see up here at the top that there are a few different settings. For right now, I'm going to leave this as a URL delivery and I'm just going to let it run now. We can go over some more scheduling and delivery options in just a minute here. Below that, you'll see the parameters. And these parameters will vary depending on the report that you're looking at. But they're basically settings that you can use to kind of narrow down the search results that you're looking for. So for this particular one, let's see, customer created date, we can make this the current year. So this will basically, we're just asking the report to show us any customers that were created so far this year. Below the parameters, you'll see columns. And the columns that are here on the right-hand side in the selected area, those are the default columns. And those are the columns that will show up on your report. Some reports also have other available columns that aren't part of the default, but you can certainly use them if you'd like to. This report doesn't have any available columns other than the ones that are already selected. But what you can do is you can move these columns around. Eventually, what will happen is when you run the report, is these columns will display top to bottom, left to right. So this ID column right here, that will be the leftmost column, and this total sales here at the bottom, that will be the rightmost column. But you can certainly move these around. You can take columns take columns out if you don't need them. So say if we didn't need ID, we could just simply click on ID and we could remove it. And it will still show up here in the available columns just in case you decide you want to add it back later, but it won't show up on the report when you run it. You can also, if you'd like to change the way that the report is displayed, then you can certainly, so say here account number, if we didn't need that to be the leftmost column, then we could certainly select account number and then move that down. There is also the option to group by certain things. So you could group something by the loyalty number and you could sort them in ascending or descending orders or change that from the defaults. And if you get to a place where you decide you don't like the way that you've started to set your columns up, then you could always just click reset and they'll go back to the default. And so these are, these just pop up every time you open the report. So every time you open the report, you'll need to change the columns to what you want if you don't want the default columns the way they're currently set up. So I'm going to go ahead and run this report so that we can take a look at it. And you'll see here that the title, it tells you the title of the report. It's the same as in Director, the customer summary report. It'll tell you the date and the time that it was generated, and it'll tell you the report request parameters that you used. So for this one, the only one that we selected was current year. But if you were to select other parameters here, then you'd see those as well. And then, as I mentioned, it goes from top to bottom. So like this ID here, the leftmost column is the topmost column here. So like I mentioned, top to bottom, left to right, that's how those columns will display. And then, let's see here, so we can close out of that. And then the nice thing about our new Azure platform is the way that the recent report results are saved. So you can see up here in the upper right-hand corner, you can view recent report results. So this one right here, the one at 6:40, that was the one that I just ran. And so if you click that view button, it will open that report again. And because I did this in HTML format with the URL delivery, that's why it's just opening in a new tab here. But if I were to have selected different parameters, like say if I wanted this one to be like an Excel file, then if I clicked view, then it would automatically start the download here. So whatever parameters and whatever settings you had when you originally ran the report, when you click view, that's how that report will come through. So now that we're talking a little bit more about delivery options, we can go into that. With this URL option, it's what it sounds like. It'll give you a link and it'll just open up here. You also have the option to email. And so with this, you can select who you're sending it from, as well as who you're sending it to in a message. So maybe I wanted to use this customer summary report and send that to my marketing team. So I could pick an email address here and I could enter in the email addresses and say, hey, here's a customer summary report. And if I selected HTML, it would send them a link. If I selected Excel, then it would send them a file that they could download, just a linked file in their email. The other option for delivery that I'll mention is the grid file export. And essentially what this is it's a way to pull a scheduled report onto a local machine in your network. But if you have any questions about that or would like more information about how to use the grid file export, you can certainly reach out to the support team and we'd be happy to help you out. The other thing that I'll mention is scheduling reports. For this one, I just used Run Now because I wanted to be able to give you guys an example, but you can also schedule other reports if you'd like to. So maybe there's a report that you'd like to run daily or weekly or hourly or monthly, and that way you don't have to set a calendar reminder to do it every day or every week or every month, and you can just have a director do it for you. And that's where this make file name unique button comes in handy. If you're doing a regularly scheduled report and you're using the grid file export, you don't want customer summary report to keep overwriting on itself every day or every week. And so with the make file name unique, then you're able to keep downloading newer copies of the report without overwriting existing copies. When you do have scheduled reports like that, close out of this. You can find them here under the Insight module in the Scheduled tab. And it'll give you some information like the type of report, how often it's scheduled. Like you can see here, we have a couple of weekly reports, a daily report set up here. You can set up a one-time report just to run in the future if that's something that you'd like to do. And then you can also see when it was created or changed or updated, the name of the report that you're running, as well as the next runtime. So for example, these that are going weekly, those, it looks like they all ran, these two ran on Monday. So these will run again next Monday on the 19th. We do have a wide variety of reports and they do suit most of our customers' needs. If there's ever a report that you're looking for and we don't have, then it's certainly something that we could create as a custom report for you. Sometimes it's as simple as finding a report that already exists and is almost exactly what you want and not quite, and we can make a few modifications and get that set up for you. Or the other option is if we don't have anything like what you're looking for, then we can certainly create a custom report from scratch to get you the information that you need. There is a fee associated with any of those custom reports, but if you have any questions about that or that's something you're interested in, you could certainly reach out to the support team and we can give you some more information. In the event that you do have custom reports, they would be here under the Insight module in the Custom tab. And those would be specific to you and your account, not to other bLoyal clients. But that's certainly something that we can accommodate if it's something that you're interested in. So that's a very general overview of the Insight module. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the support team and we'd be happy to give you some more information. Thank you so much.